Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating system that completely changes how you can think about your company's code. We're going to explore how you can take a huge, complex code base and basically put it in a box, a single, portable, and super secure file. So, let's just start with a big what-if question. What if you could take all of your company's most valuable intellectual property, I mean all of your source code, and put it into a digital lockbox? Just one single file that you have complete control over, totally offline. You know, your code is supposed to be your company's crown jewel. But let's be real, a lot of the time, it can feel like a liability. It's this giant black box, and if you want to use modern AI to understand it, what do you have to do? You usually have to send it to some third-party cloud service. And that, well, that's a huge security risk. And this slide just breaks it down perfectly. You've got two completely different ways of thinking. On the left, you've got the cloud tools. They force you to ship your IP out into the world, which creates all sorts of dependencies and, frankly, security nightmares. But on the right, you have the Tripartite knowledge store. It's 100% local. That means absolutely zero data leakage, and you have total control.
So what's the actual solution here? Well, it's this idea of a portable artifact. The concept is actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly powerful. You transform your entire codebase, this sprawling mess of folders and files, into one single, self-contained SQLite database.
And listen, this isn't just some fancy zip file. This single database is a complete, intelligent model of your code. It's got the full source code, it remembers the original folder structure, it has vector embeddings for really smart searching, and even a knowledge graph to show how everything connects. And the best part? It all works completely offline. Okay, so how in the world does it build such a deep understanding of your code? Well, it's not just storing files, it's actually analyzing them through this really clever three-layered approach to what it calls memory. The foundation, layer 1, is the verbatim layer. Think of this as a perfect line-for-line original copy of your code. It's super efficient too because it deduplicates everything. So if you have the same line of code in 100 different places, it only stores it once. This layer is your absolute source of truth.
Now, layer 2 is the semantic layer, and this is where things get really clever. See, a normal vector database just sees a blob of text. This system is different. It uses powerful language parsers, things like treesitter, to understand the structure of your code first. It knows that a piece of code isn't just text, it's the load function inside the config class in the app.py file. That structural context gets added before it creates the vector embedding, which makes searching and analyzing your code incredibly precise.
And finally, Layer 3, the knowledge graph layer. This is what connects all the dots. It automatically pulls out key concepts like Python, SQLite, or maybe a specific library you're using, and it maps out how they're all related. It gives you this amazing, high-level, explorable blueprint of your entire project. And here it is, the most important part for any executive listening. All of this incredibly complex analysis happens entirely on your local machine. It uses local, open-source GGUF models, which means your intellectual property never, ever leaves your control. That's a flat-out guarantee of zero data leakage. Now, this kind of high-fidelity knowledge capture doesn't happen by accident. It's actually the result of this very meticulous 9-stage ingestion pipeline that processes every single file you throw at it. This is a very deliberate process. I just want to point out a couple of key steps here. Step 2, understand code structure. That's where it uses those powerful parsers we talked about. Then, look at steps 6 and 7. It adds the location context to the code before it generates the embeddings. That combination, right there, that's the secret sauce. That's what makes its understanding of your code so much deeper than a standard vector database. And look, this quote from the technical white paper just nails it. Traditional vector databases throw away all that useful structural context. This system, the tripartite system, is built from the ground up to preserve it. It's all about creating a true high-fidelity representation of your knowledge. What's more, the system is smart enough to know that not all files are the same. You wouldn't analyze a simple configuration file the same way you'd analyze a complex Python class, right? Well, it uses a technique for this called tier-aware chunking. This table shows you exactly how it works. For a deep semantic language like Python, it does a full, deep dive analysis of all the classes and methods. But for a structural file like a llama-config file, it just needs to pull out the key value pairs. This tiered approach is super efficient, and it makes sure the context is always represented in the most useful way for that specific file type.
So, we've created this powerful, intelligent artifact. Now we get to the payoff. What can you actually do with it, and how do you even manage this thing?
Well, everything is handled through one unified app called the Tripartite Studio. You launch it with the studio.py script, and that's your command center. It's where you ingest your code bases, explore these knowledge stores, and keep them organized. And inside the studio, you get this whole suite of curation tools. You can clean out junk files that maybe got in there by accident, you can deduplicate things, and you can even add your own custom tools. But the most important tool here is export files, because that leads to the system's most impressive feature.
A feature that the white paper calls reconstitution. Honestly, this is the ultimate proof that that first verbatim layer is a perfect, complete, and totally lossless copy of your original code.
So first, the system takes your entire, complicated code base with all its thousands of files and nested folders, and it boils it all down into that one single, portable SQLite database.
And then at any time, using only that one database file, the system can perfectly rebuild the entire original file and folder structure, right down to the last byte. This is the ultimate proof of its integrity. Your intellectual property is whole, it's secure, and it's completely under your command.
Which leaves us with one last really powerful thought. If your company's most valuable IP was this secure, this portable, and this deeply understandable, all without ever relying on a single third-party API, what new possibilities would that unlock for you? Just think, what could you build next?